I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right. Will you give me a verse of Rap God to sing?
Do you think I know any of the words from Rap God, other than the line "something something"? I'm a rap god.
That was good enough, I think.
I don't listen to Eminem, dude. I don't really know this.
You don't listen to Eminem?
There were like a handful of songs that I can say I really enjoy, but like, no, I was never like an actual Eminem fan.
Did I send you that weird Tori Amos cover?
Of what?
Of like the Eminem song where he's murdering Kim in the song.
I feel like you have, but I don't actually remember it, honestly.
I tried to get into her, and all I learned is that she's weird. She did like a weird Slayer cover. She had rain.
Yeah, I remember we talked a little bit about her one night about just like the fact that she's just weird. Like that's really kind of all it comes down to is she's weird.
I think I found some like live stuff, and I don't care at all for her studio stuff, but I like the songs re-recorded with just her on piano, I think.
I feel like I could really like her, or I would have really liked her if I were the right age at the right time, if that makes sense. Right? Like if I were like a teen or early 20s in like early 90s, I guess. I feel like I would have loved her then. But she doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I just heard a lot about that first album, and like it didn't do anything for me, but I heard some of the, like just her and piano, and I was like, this is actually better. That's not what we're here to talk about.
I was going to say, except we're not here to talk about Tori Amos.
We're here to talk about how excited you are that Lizzie Hale is going to be playing for Skid Row.
Okay. I mean, how do I want to say this? Yes, I really am. So literally just today, Skid Row made an announcement that, and I'm gonna try. Let me look at the name real quick here because I don't want to pronounce this guy's name too wrong. Skid Row's current singer Eric Gronvall. I'm not sure how he says his name actually. I've never heard it said, and I didn't think to look. He is currently stepping down. Now, in all fairness, he has. Was it leukemia?
I was gonna say
he was very sick. Yeah, he was very sick, and he's saying, touring just isn't like this isn't really a good idea for me. I really shouldn't be doing this. It's not good for his health. So to fill in the last dates that they have scheduled, Lizzie Hale is taking over, and oh my god, somebody needs to record. I need one of those performances. That's gonna be absolutely incredible. Lizzie Hale is just such a goddamn powerhouse. I don't like a lot of her music, but she is fantastic.
She's a really good singer. I think we even said that live when we saw her live, correct?
Yes, we saw her live. Who was she opening?
I think she opened for Alice Cooper.
Is that what it was? I couldn't remember.
I think so.
Oh,
I think it was Alice
Cooper. She's unreal. She's absolutely unreal. But yeah, so that's super exciting. But that's also not actually what we're here to talk about.
We're here to talk about your favorite hair metal bands. Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeff, and welcome to the Sound Judgement podcast.
Where every episode, we'll be discussing all of the important musical topics, from reviews to which member of Motley Crue is the most vile.
I'm going to judge the officials. I'm going to judge all the judges. It's going to take you people years to recover from all my opinions. We're doing my top 5 favorite hair metal bands.
Yeah, I don't really have a horse in this race because, you're going to get me into hair metal here. You're going to teach me about hair metal.
Well,
I know a little, but I know my Skid Rows and my Cherry Pies and my Poison, but you're going to tell me which are the 5 that I should dig into this weekend.
Okay, so now obviously my favorites are probably mostly going to be like bands you actually know, but how much time you've ever spent with them I really couldn't say.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where if you really want to do it right, you got to spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, you really got to dig in, and you got to at least get into like an album or two. In fact, hold on, let me double check something real quick here because I think one of them is really important. I think one of them has an anniversary. Is it today or is it really soon? Okay, it's not really soon. It was just a little while ago, a few weeks ago, was the 40th anniversary of Out of the Cellar by Rat. Now, the reason I think that's legitimately important is hair metal is, unfortunately, it is one of those genres that's is it really a genre, right? It's one of those deals.
Yeah.
So the problem is you'll get people argue all the time over like when hair metal actually started or what hair metal really is, that whole shtick.
Yeah.
Personally, the way I look at it is hair metal, for the most part, was like a scene, right? It was
Sure.
it was a time and place kind of thing. And it was, let's face it, it wasn't hair metal if you didn't have the spandex or at least leathers and lace. And if you didn't have, the hair. Otherwise, you're just like a hard rock band from the time. Like Quiet Riot, I don't think was hair metal, even though they're similar. Van Halen, I think, is like pre-hair metal, right?
Yeah.
So Out of the Cellar by Rat is one of the one of the real staples. There are some people who will say that hair metal was born with the release of Out of the Cellar by Rat in 1984. And I think the absolute best proof of that, and I apologize, this is going to be slightly visual here, so I apologize for the way that this has to work, but it is what it is.
Okay.
But see, it started here because of this picture here of lead guitar player Warren DeMartini. Now his hair, we've got like the nice big puff. It's teased out on top. It's long. It's black. It's teased. His hair isn't as crazy as it would later go on to be, and as other people would go on to be, as the hair metal scene more exploded. But you gotta admit, that is hair that makes a hair metal band. This is like quintessential hard rock hair, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic hair. So I'm gonna send you another one here. Again, I apologize. This is a visual thing, so you're gonna have to do some editing on this one.
There's gonna be some editing involved. That's
because that sucks. Now another one, and this is one that you absolutely know. Considering the fact that we've actually talked about them extensively. But I think they're also interesting because they're one of the ones that people like to debate. Are they hair metal? And this is one of the ones where I like to prove my point of hair metal is not just a sound and a style, but it's a scene. But that is, of course, Guns N' Roses. Right?
Sure.
Guns N' Roses was like a lot more gritty. They were more of a hard blues rock band. They were closer to like an Aerosmith than they were Rat or Motley Crue, right?
Yeah.
But they were still part of the scene, right? They were a Sunset Strip band in the 80s. And Axl Rose especially has gone through phases of marvelous hair. My favorite two eras, the first picture I sent you is when he was doing the whole bandana thing. Yeah. Unlike a lot of the guys, now unlike the Welcome to the Jungle video, he's got the super teased puffy hair. I don't think that's where he shines, though. Axl Rose really shines when he was doing the headband, the bandana, with the long flat hair coming down the sides. Mm-hmm. And he kind of had like drowned rat looking thing.
Yeah.
Right, he mixed it up a little bit. He was a little less pretty boy than a lot of the other hair metal acts. And then, of course, the other picture I sent you.
The second picture. What show do you think he canceled to be on this street corner?
Well, I think he did this, I think he had, if I remember correctly, he actually had the braided hair a little later on. So this is like in the 90s when he was absolutely going crazy. So God knows he canceled all the shows at that time.
Do you think Metallica was on fire when this picture was taken?
Wait, what?
The show where I think it was Guns N' Roses stormed off early, and then James Hetfield lit his arm on fire and had to go to the hospital. And that was where the riot was.
I forgot that that's actually the whole story. Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yes, that's probably exactly it. In fact, he probably left that show to get his hair done in the braids. And like these braids are like straight up like from the movie Predator.
Yeah, they're very shiny.
There is nothing more hair metal to me than like something that's super weird and out there and stands out. I love this. And then we gotta go. I'm here. Send you another one here. This is classic. We're going to cliche staple.
Yeah.
Of course, Poison.
Well, real quick, do you think even when Axl's hair was lacking, do you think Slash's hair could carry the band? Like,
well, the thing with Slash's
through the hair
is,
metal
the thing with Slash's hair is I think his hair was just always his hair, right? He just has curly. He just has that curly, kinky, thick hair. He didn't even need to tease it. He didn't need to style it. He just wakes up in the morning, puts on his top hat, and holy shit, he's hair metal.
I'm going to put some vocal effects where you say kinky.
I hate you.
Let's talk about the difference between Venom and Poison.
Okay, well, no, we're not talking about Venom right now. We can talk about Venom and Poison some other time.
But do you want to talk about Venom's hair?
I don't have a picture of it, but I can. Are we going to compare Venom and Poison's hair?
You tell me what you think about Poison's hair while I find you a picture of like 1980s Venom.
I don't think I've ever, like, I'm sure I've seen pictures of them, but I can't like imagine, I can't visualize what they look like. But okay, Poison's a fun one though.
You're going to laugh.
Supposedly, from what I understand, Ricky Rocket was actually a hairdresser before like the band got famous. I don't know if it's necessarily true or not. That is the story. But like, if you look at this picture I just sent you, this is very early Poison. This is like cliche, quintessential. There is a hole in the ozone layer because of these guys, right?
Yeah.
There was so much hairspray used by these guys in this picture alone. There is a quote that I believe Ricky Rocket said that is, "The higher the hair, the closer to stardom." Don't you know that? And man, it's so true. Especially I in this picture, CC's the third one in. He probably has my favorite hair in this because his hair actually is like strangely like almost kind of thin, so it gives him just like this lion's mane thing going on.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Okay, did you find a good picture of Venom?
Yeah, I'll get you this one, where you can really see Kronos' bald by 30 look.
I have seen this. Okay, he's that guy. Oh, that's right. I just saw a thing on Threads the other day that was like, who's the hottest metal musician? And the options were him, Lemmy, and it was like the worst picture of Devin Townsend imaginable when he had the skullet.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in all fairness, I know
you gotta give him credit for he's trying to do what he can with what he has, though.
Now, here's the thing, though. Here's what he should have done here. Here's what Kronos should have done here. Perfect. We're gonna compare Poison and Venom, right?
Yeah.
As Bret Michaels ages, you see him in this picture I sent you.
Yeah.
Giant, huge, luscious hair. As he ages, we all know what he's doing, and he's ripping off the Axl Rose bandana look, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he keeps pulling the bandana wider and wider so it creeps up more of his head. And then he pulls it up to where his hair actually starts, right? So it looks like he has this full head of hair under it. Why didn't Kronos do that, man?
I don't know.
He could have been right up there with Bret Michaels in the hair metal world. This is why Venom isn't hair metal.
That's true.
Because he didn't understand how to pose his hair properly.
So here's what we'll give them. Okay, Venom has the volume in the music. Poison has the volume in the hair. Venom has the bounce in the bass. Poison has the bounce in the hair.
Yeah, all right, I can accept that. Anyways, I can accept that.
So we're 2 down, right?
What I do? We got Guns N' Roses and Poison, right?
Yeah.
So here's a little lesser note.
Was Rat on there or no? Was that 5?
Oh, I'm sorry, and Rat. That's
okay.
3.
So
Rat. I'm sorry.
Your top 5 so far. We got 5. We got 5 Rat, 4 Guns N' Roses, and 3 Poison.
Yeah, I don't know if they're necessarily in order. This is one of those like give or take depending on my mood, but take it as it is. So here's the next one here, and this is one that I would assume you've actually probably never even heard of these guys. This is a band called Jet Boy. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're not one of the bigger bands. They did not get the success I think they deserved. Fantastic band, and of course we have here this guy here in this picture is Mickey Finn. And what I love about him is he basically had a mohawk, which really wasn't a thing in the hair metal scene for the most part. But what I love the most about his mohawk is he let the back grow long. So it's like a mohawk. It's like a mohawk mullet. Right?
Yeah.
Like he's party in the front and the top in business in the back. And I don't think it gets much more hair metal than that. Absolutely stellar band though. They do not get the credit they deserve, not by a long shot.
This man looks like a cartoon character.
I mean, he looks like a Sonic the Hedgehog villain. I'm gonna be real with you.
I was gonna say I hate when people say that things look like JoJo characters, but he kind of looks like a JoJo character.
Well, the thing is, in the picture I picked too, it's a great picture of him. But he has like the brace, like the studded bracelets around his wrists. He's wearing like 30 chains, but they're all black and silver. But otherwise, he's like a Mr.
Look.
T. He's like the white skinny Mr. T.
Yeah,
right? And he has the vest with no shirt on. It's a fantastic look. It just screams hair metal with the mohawk mullet.
It's like the branched evolution of Billy Idol.
Actually, that's really not a bad description. See, Steve Stevens, speaking of which, Steve Stevens is a runner-up to be on my list. If he did a little more hair metal music, he'd be up there. But no, we gotta.
I was gonna say, I think you're about to do. Are you about to do number 2 or number 1?
I'm about to move to number 1, and then I have a real honorable mention.
I was gonna say, if you want to do a few honorable mentions before number 1, that's how it's traditionally done. But I don't care.
Oh, I can. No, you know what? That's fine. Let's do that. Let's do my big honorable mention here. Do you know who this is?
That looks like Michael Jackson hanging out with a gimp.
Oh no. No, so that's, well, okay, yeah, that is exactly what this is. Michael Jackson hanging out with his, at the time, guitar player, Jennifer Batten. She has the most massive hair. And because she's like a fairly, like she's a fairly small framed individual. I mean, mind you, a lot of these guys are. These are tiny human beings for men. But Jennifer Batten has like a fairly small frame with this, like, it is the most hair I think I've seen on any person other than my number 1s that are coming up in a moment here, right?
As an incredible tuft of hair, but what is the mask?
Oh, she's just weird. I mean,
is she Mankind? Honestly, is she Mick Foley?
If you want to just like look her up sometime, the amount of ridiculous outfits this woman has worn, she is the coolest. You know that the song do you know the song Seventh Element by Vetus, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Right, that one? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a thing that she wears that seriously, it looks like Vetus was ripping her off. And you know the outfit he wears in that video, I'm assuming. That, like, alien skin, scaly thing. That's the kind of shit she did. And it's, she's the coolest. Okay, I do need to pull up a Steve Stevens for you. I apologize. I didn't have one ready because I didn't...
No, you're good.
Because Steve Stevens is a great one because he's another, like, I want to say almost classic-looking hair guy.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, again, now, Billy Idol weren't really hair metal, but they were, I'd say, hair metal adjacent. And that's why I'm going to put him in here. But what I like is that he mixed the hair metal rock and roll thing with almost like a Robert Smith from The Cure. Again, he has the kind of mop thing going on, right? So he wasn't teasing his hair out as much. His hair wasn't as high. He wasn't following the Ricky Rocket school of thought here. He was going for more of the screw it, I haven't showered in 3 days look, right?
Yeah.
Badass though. I love it.
You see that more in hair metal now, I think, than you did at the time.
Well, that's
how it's evolved.
He was ahead of the curve,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, like but it's like you had that era where hair metal wasn't cool and everyone shopped at Hot Topic. But then all the hair metal bands came back with their nephew who shopped at Hot Topic, and they all look like this now.
I mean, you're not wrong. Well, as we've discussed before, to great extents, the 90s ruined metal in a lot of ways, and then the 2000s ruined it in different ways.
Yeah. It's that there was that moment where you could buy that Motley Crue Saints of Los Angeles album in a Hot Topic, and I think that's where worlds collided.
God, that's such a good album, though, as we have discussed before.
Yeah.
But, okay. So, we started where it all began, right? With Warren DeMartini of Rat, where he had big hair, but it wasn't reaching its high altitudes quite yet, right? He's one of the guys who started hair metal for as far as I'm concerned. And hair metal came to its rightful conclusion in every way, shape, or form with and you are aware of this band, Nitro.
Yeah.
Nitro is the pinnacle of hair metal in every way, shape, or form.
It's like when they talk about, like, the excessive hair metal is what kind of killed the scene, and it doesn't get more excessive than a four-headed guitar.
It absolutely does not. No, I mean, Michelangelo Badio?
I always heard Batio.
Hi, everybody. It's Michelangelo Badio.
I've even seen the man, and I still pronounce his name wrong every time. It's what, you know, that thing where, like, you say it one way for a long time, then you're corrected, but then you forget which one was which. That's the camp I'm in right now, and I feel really bad. But MAB, Mr. Michelangelo, we're gonna call him that, you know, with his 4-neck guitar, or he's had 2-neck guitars all over the place. He's playing them upside down, he's playing them sideways, he's playing at ridiculous lightning speeds. His hair is big and round on top. He's got like a globe over his head, and then it trails down his shoulders and back. And then, of course, Jim Gillette, his voice is reaching into the stratosphere, and so does his hair. And just everything about these guys is the pinnacle of 80s hair metal. So if I'm recommending 80s hair metal to anybody, you need to finish with Nitro. They are the be-all, end-all. They are the final boss of hair metal.
Does that man have his name on his pants?
No.
That is how you know someone's a badass, is if they have their name on their Jinkos.
It's the name of the album, actually. I would love to say I were kidding. I never... Oh, no. Okay, so the album is called OFR, so like Out Fucking Rageous.
Yeah.
And now look at his pants again.
I see.
That's an OFR going down the side of his leg.
Woo!
Oh man.
All right. So
that's my rundown. That's my quick rundown
that is Jeff's
hair metal.
top 5 favorite hair bands and the hair that it is holding back.
Oh, God, for a bald man, I really do love this shit, bro. Like, all jokes aside, I fucking love hair metal.
I've been informed that another chunk has fallen out of my hair, so I think I'm going to have to get into hair metal this weekend.
Are you saying you're going to go bald, or what are you implying here?
Maybe I'll just listen to hair metal and hope it rubs off on me.
I don't think that's going to work, because even half of these guys have lost their hair over the years, or they're the guys who had the money to keep it. Let's be real here. Like, there's no doubt some of these dudes have had plugs. God, I do love this. I do love it, though.
Which hair metal musician do you think most likely had hair taken from their ass and put on their head?
Does it need to be a hair metal musician? Because my actual answer, I think, is Kirk Hammett.
That's where I'm ending that one.